Hello, I'm Danielle Yałowiecka with the BBC News. Students and workers in countries across the globe are joining in strikes and protests to demand urgent action to tackle global warming. Large numbers have gathered in European cities. This protester in London explained why she was taking part.
I'm here because I believe climate change is the defining issue of our generation, and if we don't come up and fight for the policies that we want, for a Green New Deal, for educational reform and for political empowerment of young people, our planet is on the line.
The demonstrations come ahead of a United Nations Climate Action Summit to be held in New York on Monday. A planned revision to Indonesia's criminal code, which would have outlawed sex outside of marriage and gay sex, has been delayed. President Joko Widodo ordered Parliament to postpone confirmation of the criminal code bill because of objections from various groups. The revision of a Dutch colonial-era code would have introduced punishments for unmarried couples engaging in consensual sex, effectively outlawing all homosexual relations since same-sex marriage is not allowed in Indonesia. Twitter has suspended the account of the former Saudi royal court advisor Saud al-Qahtani, who's suspected of involvement in the killing of the Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Sebastian Usher reports.
Twitter's action is aimed at what it calls platform manipulation, which is essentially the attempt to sway public opinion online with aggressive campaigns using large numbers of fake or deceptive accounts. One master of this black art has been Saud al-Qahtani. He became known as Mr. Hashtag for his use of that device to wage war online with Qatar. His account dominated pro-Saudi and anti-Qatari traffic when the dispute was at its height. But a dark cloud now hangs over him, with accusations that he orchestrated the brutal murder of Jamal Khashoggi. He was sacked last year as royal advisor, but there are reports that he still wields influence.
The Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif has continued a war of words with the US and Saudi Arabia in the wake of the attack on Saudi oil facilities last Saturday. Mr. Zarif tweeted that Saudi Arabia and the UAE appeared to wish to fight Iran to the last American. The Saudi authorities have given journalists a tour of the facilities that were attacked. Frank Gardner was there.
The metal is twisted and buckled, the paintwork scorched by flames. A hydrocarbon separation tower, vital to Saudi Arabia's ability to process and export its oil, stands blackened against the cloudless sky. It was one of 17 targets hit by incoming missiles and drones in the early hours of last Saturday. The attack, blamed by the US and Saudi Arabia on Iran, easily penetrated the country's air defences and struck right at the heart of this country's economy. Workers in white overalls and hard hats are still swarming over the site, cleaning up the damage and racing to restore the plant to full capacity.
Frank Gardner reporting. World News from the BBC. A court in Moscow has ordered the release from jail of an actor who was found to have assaulted a policeman at an unauthorised protest. It follows a high-profile campaign on behalf of Pavel Ustinov, who was given a 3.5-year sentence on Monday. On Thursday, Russia's Deputy Prosecutor General asked the court to impose a non-custodial sentence instead. Austrian Jewish groups have welcomed a parliamentary decision to allow citizenship for descendants of victims of the Nazis. The new law, approved late on Thursday, will apply to children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren of those who fled Austria. Bethany Bell reports.
MPs voted by a large majority in favour of the new legislation, which allows direct descendants of those who fled Austria or survived concentration camps to apply for Austrian nationality. Austria, which doesn't usually allow dual citizenship, will grant the passports without insisting on the need to reside in Austria or give up a previous nationality. The head of Vienna's Jewish community, Oskar Deutsch, welcomed the decision, which he said was one of historic dimensions. The law will come into force in September 2020.
Japan is gripped by rugby fever as the first World Cup to be held in Asia has kicked off. The lavish opening ceremony was inspired by Japanese festivals and kabuki dance. The names of the 20 participating teams were projected onto a picture of Mount Fuji. The tournament was declared officially open by Crown Prince Akishino. In the opening game, Japan are leading Russia 27 at half-time. And officials in French Guiana say a stash of cocaine has been found in a ship used to transport rocket components to and from the European spaceport at Kourou. The container with nearly 8 kilos of cocaine had been fixed to the ship's hull, but fell into the water. And that's the latest BBC News.